single day I'm gonna make something great. That's my way.
Hi, welcome to Tomorrow Again. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already subscribed. And for those of you that have already subscribed, I really appreciate it. It means so much to me. And I finally got those numbers past the 3 6s. I'm not sure what that was about, but for the longest time, my subscriber count was just stuck on those 6s, and now it seems to be moving up, which I'm very grateful for that. This time of the year always reminds me of when I was a child. I remember we'd go trick-or-treating and, knock on doors and ask for candy. And I remember there was sort of a spirit of Halloween. At school, we would dress in costumes and have this parade around the school. And I can just remember the beauty of that, the fun of that, the innocence of when I was a child. I'm using my phone for this video. I'm not using my camera. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. I'm trying not to scream at you, but I don't know, the sound on here isn't always great. But I wanted to talk to you guys today about something that I lived through as a child. It happened on Halloween. It was the 60s. The weather was typical autumn. There were leaves blowing across the ground and the sound of whistling in the air, the sound of the wind whipping past your face. And there was just the right amount of spookiness to enjoy Halloween. This particular Halloween, it was more spooky than it had ever been. It's story time. My grandmother was expecting a visitor. An old friend of hers worked for a funeral home, and he was transporting a body from point A to point B. He was coming into town from East St. Louis, Illinois, on his way to Chicago, Illinois. He was transporting a body. Well, my grandmother invited him to come to dinner on his way through. That way he could get some nourishment before he reached his destination, and he could get some rest. Well, he came, and this particular Halloween, we were told that we were not going to be celebrating because there were some things that were going on. People were doing some maniacal things to trick-or-treaters' candy. So my grandmother had decided, nope, we won't be doing Halloween this year. So you can go in your room and play. And I think she gave us some candy and a few treats that we could enjoy in lieu of knocking on strangers' doors. Well, her friend came. He pulled up in the parking lot. We lived right next to a parking lot, and we were peeking out the window to see who this person was, because I hadn't been familiar with him. So we saw him pull up in what looked like a station wagon, hearse type of vehicle. And it was looked a little dark in there. You couldn't really see through the windows in the back. And so he knocked on the door. He came in. My grandmother greeted him, and she proceeded to fix him a plate of food. And at that time, trick-or-treaters had begun to knock on the doors, knock, knock, knock. Even though you didn't have a porch light on, they still would sometimes knock on the door. So finally, after the third or fourth group of trick-or-treaters, my grandmother kind of yelled up the stairs and said, "Can you guys get the door if there's any trick-or-treaters, and just tell them we're not celebrating this year?" Sure enough, another trick-or-treater came, knocked on the door. My sister and I roared down the stairs like a herd of baby elephants, We opened the door and there was a little girl standing there. She had flowers in her hand, looked like plastic flowers, and it looked like, back in those days, we didn't say zombies. We didn't say that ghosts were zombies. So she looked like a ghost or a witch or some kind of unspecified character for Halloween. And she was by herself, and we explained to her, we didn't celebrate Halloween. We're sorry, we don't have any candy. She just kind of looked at us. She looked very sad, and she just turned and she left. So about a half an hour later, she knocked on the door again. We roared down the stairs once again like a baby, heard a baby elephants, and that little girl was there, standing there, wanting candy. So this time, we felt a little bad for her. My sister and I crept up the stairs. We told the little girl, wait here for a minute. We crept up the stairs, and we each pitched in a piece of candy each, roared back down those stairs, and opened the door up. She was gone. We looked and looked. She was nowhere. We didn't see her anywhere. We were going to share our candy with her. So we closed and locked the door, went back up the stairs, looked out the window, and there she was. She was standing by this hearse thing, just standing there, and we felt bad for her, but we didn't know how to get her attention. We tried to peck on the window, and we tried to whistle. Shh. It didn't work. She never heard us. So we just came away from the window and began playing amongst ourselves, and I think we were playing jacks. When you have the ball and those little jack circular things, those things that you don't want to step on in the middle of the night. We were playing with that. And my sister pointed behind me. Like she was in a state of shock. Like, what? I didn't understand why she was pointing at me like that. And so I turned around to see what she was pointing at. And it was like a streak of light behind that was at my peripheral vision. I could see something move, but not enough to say what it was. And then I turned and looked at my sister, and I said, what was that? She said, how'd that little girl get in here? How'd she get in here? So we went to looking around in the bathroom. We looked at our grandmother's room. We looked in the hall closet. We looked everywhere upstairs. We didn't see her anywhere. But we didn't want to get in trouble for having that little girl in our house either. So we looked back outside. She wasn't outside. And then we heard a knock at the door. Except this time we didn't roar and rumble down those stairs. We kind of crept down the stairs. And my sister said, go back and get the candy. I was like, I'm not going back up. No. Come with me. So she came with me. We grabbed a bunch of candy. We went back down the stairs. And we listened at the door. And as soon as we got our ears close to the door, we opened the door. There was nobody there. So we took the candy, we threw it out the door, closed it, locked it, ran upstairs, because we knew our grandmother wasn't trying to hear our stories. We knew she probably wouldn't believe us. So we went to sleep. We went to bed early that night. That was the Halloween I'll never, ever forget. So the next morning, we got ready for school. And my grandmother got to talking about how, I wonder why all those kids knocked on the door for Halloween when we didn't have a porch light on. Why did they keep knocking on the door? Who was that? What kid in this neighborhood was it? And my sister and I, we just kind of shrugged our shoulders. She told us to be extra careful. Just watch your P's and Q's, as she would always say. And I'm going to relay that message to you guys. Watch your P's and Q's. And I hope you enjoyed this story time. I don't know, and I guess I never will know who that little girl was that kept ringing our doorbell and disappearing and joining us up in our room. I think she was from somewhere long ago, and I think it was an effort for her to enjoy. Halloween. I don't know who was in that hearse. I have no idea if there was even a who in that hearse. I'm sure there was a who because he was transferring the who to Chicago. May that person rest in peace. May you guys have a happy, joyous Halloween. Enjoy the spookiness of it all. And I hope you enjoyed the story time. Please like this video if you liked it. And please subscribe to this channel for more scary stories and paranormal stuff and interesting things. And I want to thank you guys again for supporting this channel. I really appreciate it. And I know this is the end of the video, but I hope you guys have had a great day. How has your week been? Have you been able to use certain coping mechanisms to get through the week, to get through dealing with very rude people, people who are in a bad mood, who cut you off in traffic, who say and do all kinds of things to try to bring you down to how they're feeling? I hope you were able to cope. I hope life brings you so much joy, and I think that it will. If you want to share this video with whoever you want to share it with, please feel free to do so. And until my next video, I'm saying goodbye, and I'm wishing you the best of the best. Thank you.